Welcome to the Laboratory, a video series brought to you by Miracles Innovation Labs.
Hi, welcome to the Laboratory video series brought to you by Miracles Innovation Labs. My name is Akash, and in this video, I will be talking about Carlos, a chatbot that is capable of estimating the level of effort required to implement a particular integration scenario. In this video, as a bonus content, I would introduce you to cognitive process automation and different ways to automate processes. Then I'd go ahead and talk about Carlos, explain the architecture and different components involved in getting Carlos to work. I would also talk about a list of channels that Carlos can run on and conclude the video with a live demonstration of Carlos. Without much ado, let's get started. Most processes that we come across these days consist of tasks that include either a logical decision making, like repetitive, mundane and back office tasks, or intelligent or more human-like decision making where the mode of communication is natural language. The cognitive process automation is an area that covers the automation of both of these variety of processes. Robotic process automation refers to automating repetitive and mundane tasks by recording it once and replaying it over and over again. Companies like Automation Anywhere, IBM, and many more have delved deeper into providing platforms to achieve RPA on a larger scale. On the other hand, companies like Microsoft, Google, IBM, and others have built solutions that can make it possible to build chatbots which provide a conversation-based interface and can make intelligent decisions to offer automation. Our team offers support to customers in deciding and implementing the right kind of automation for the specified process. With that being said, let's get started with knowing Carlos more. Carlos is a chatbot that can estimate the effort required to implement an integration task. Imagine there's an end user who wants to integrate a mainframe system with SAP. Carlos can estimate the number of hours required to implement the same. Let me walk you through an example. When the user says, "I want an estimate for integrating mainframe and SAP," Carlos represents the provided information in a flow diagram and confirms whether it could interpret the user's intention accurately. Upon confirming, it processes the information and provides an estimate of how much time in hours would it require to implement such a task. Having spoken about what Carlos can do, let me go ahead and explain how Carlos is able to do this and what is the architecture that it follows. Carlos is built on Microsoft Bot Framework. Hence, there's a whole bunch of channels that it can run on, like Skype, Skype for Business, Microsoft Teams, Cortana, and the list goes on. The bot itself is running on a serverless backend which is termed as Azure Bot Service. Azure Bot Service is an enhancement over Azure Functions that is specifically tailored to suit the needs of running a Microsoft bot. Plus, it now has Microsoft Bot Connector built right into it. When a user communicates with the bot through a channel, the bot tries to understand the user's natural language query by making use of LUIS, a natural language processing engine that is a part of Microsoft's cognitive services. Then, Carlos makes the use of effort mappings stored inside a document DB to estimate the integration effort and sends it back to the user as a reply over the same channel. All this happens in a matter of seconds, and hence it feels as if you're texting a real person. Let's get to what channel Carlos is running on. With Skype and Skype for Business being omnipresent in most companies, we made a choice to use Skype as a channel for Carlos. But there's a small addition to it. Carlos is also capable of running on Skype Web Control. We can add a small widget on any HTML page and run a whole Skype app with all features and security right out of the box, and all this with just 2 lines of code. So let's switch to a live demo of Carlos running on Skype Web Control as well as Skype. So this is Carlos that's running on Skype Web Control. Couldn't find it? It's here in the bottom right of the screen. This blue icon is a Skype Web Control widget that's embedded on an HTML page. Let me go ahead and click this. So this is Skype Web Control that has all features of a Skype web app with security right out of the box. Let me go ahead and click sign in. So I am expected to enter the username and password. Great, I'm signed into Skype. It also pulls up my chat history. Let me go ahead and say hi. Great, it knows my name and it introduces itself. Let me go ahead and say, what can you do? Great, it can calculate the effort needed for an integration. I'll go ahead and say, I want to perform an integration task. So now it asks me a list of questions to gather some required information. So what is the source system in this integration task? So I'll choose mainframe. Now, what is the data format that is stored in mainframe system? So I'll go ahead and say flat file. Now it confirms whether the information that I entered is correct. Just in case I want to change the information, I can hit no. Now I can change any information that I want. So I'll go ahead and change the data format to XML. Great. So it now changes the data format to XML. So I'll go ahead and say yes. So what is the destination system? I'll go ahead and choose SAP. Great. What is the data format in the SAP system? I'll go ahead and choose iDoc. Now it confirms this information. Great. Now it asks me the transaction frequency, which is like number of transactions that get executed per hour. So I'll go ahead and say 40. Great. It summarizes all the information that I just entered. One thing to note about Skype Web Control is that you can always switch to the regular Skype app without losing your conversation history. For example, I can switch to the Skype app and it still reflects the same state. So I can go ahead and continue the conversation here. So I can say yes. Great. So it responds back with a pictorial representation or a flow diagram that can express the data better. So if I go ahead and click this, so you can see that the data is taken from mainframe system as an XML, transformed into iDoc and sent to SAP. So Carlos can estimate the level of effort needed for this particular integration, which came out to be 64 hours, where fetching the data from mainframe and in an XML format would require 4 hours, transforming the data from XML to iDoc would need 36 hours, and pushing the data to SAP would require 24 hours. So that sums out to 64 hours. Thank you.
Thank you for watching The Laboratory, a video series brought to you by Miracles Innovation Labs. For more on innovation, please visit miraclesoft.com/thelabs.